Join me as I dive deep into history and challenge myself to uncover whether legendary heroes actually existed, or if they're just myth. From Hercules to Beowulf, legendary heroes have captivated our imaginations for centuries, captivating us with their bravery, strength, and unwavering dedication to justice. But what makes these heroes so legendary? Is it their extraordinary feats, their unwavering commitment to their people, or the myths that surround them? Whatever the reason, one thing is certain: legendary heroes have played a significant role in shaping our cultural identities and inspiring generations to come. The challenge in distinguishing between myth and reality when it comes to legendary heroes lies in the blurred lines between historical evidence and the power of storytelling. Historians and mythologists alike have grappled with this problem for centuries, and the truth is it's not always easy to separate fact from fiction. After all, stories about legendary heroes have been passed down through generations, often by word of mouth, which can lead to embellishments and exaggerations. And yet, despite the potential for myth-making, many of these stories are rooted in some semblance of truth. Historical records often provide us with incomplete or biased accounts of events, which can make it difficult to discern what really happened from what was invented for the sake of a good story. Moreover, the pressure to create an engaging narrative can sometimes lead storytellers to sacrifice accuracy for the sake of entertainment. This is especially true when it comes to oral traditions, where the story is often more important than the facts. But despite these challenges, historians have developed methods to separate myth from reality, and often, the most unlikely of sources can provide us with valuable insights into the past. By analyzing historical records, archaeological evidence, and even mythological narratives, we can begin to piece together the puzzle of legendary heroes and uncover the truth behind their stories. Let's take Hercules for example. This demigod from ancient Greek mythology is famous for his 12 labors, which have become the stuff of legend. But did you know that Hercules may have been inspired by a real person? Historical records suggest that a king named Hercules may have lived in ancient Greece, and his exploits may have been exaggerated and mythologized over time to create the legend of Hercules we know today. Though Homer is often credited as the supposed author of the Odyssey and Iliad, there's no concrete evidence that points to him being a real person. Some scholars believe that Homer was invented out of a need to have an author for these epic works, but these poems may have actually been written by multiple writers and created earlier than initially thought. If the name sounds familiar, it's probably because you've remembered it from the Pythagorean theorem in your mathematics class. Yet, while Pythagoras was the mythical figure who popularized the formula, some believe that it existed even before him, if he even existed at all. There is very little that's known of him, and it's suspected that the mathematical proofs of his theorem were written by his followers. Even his appearance may be completely fictitious. A military strategist who supposedly wrote The Art of War in the 5th century BCE, Sun Tzu is another hot topic debate for scholars on whether the man existed at all. Like Homer, some believe that he was a fictional persona invented to serve as a single author of a great work, even though the text may have been written by several people and collected across time. What's not to love about Robin Hood, the famed legend who stole from the rich to give to the poor? Well, other than the fact that he may have only been a fictional character, while there have been records in the 13th century that could point to the Nottinghamshire hero, under a variation of names such as Robhod and Rabunhod, many fables place him in different eras and places. It remains unclear whether such a person ever roamed the earth, though a bandit fighting injustice surely makes for a great story. Another example is King Arthur, the legendary British leader who is said to have led the Knights of the Round Table. While there's no concrete evidence to prove that King Arthur existed, some historians believe that he may have been based on a real 5th century British leader who fought against the invading Anglo-Saxons. The mythological elements of the story, such as Excalibur and the Holy Grail, were likely added later to create a more compelling narrative. The story of Beowulf is another fascinating example. This Old English epic poem tells the tale of a brave warrior who battles a monster named Grendel and later a dragon. While the poem is undoubtedly a work of fiction, some historians believe that it may have been inspired by real events or people from Anglo-Saxon England. As we delve deeper into the stories of legendary heroes, a surprising pattern begins to emerge. Many of these heroes may have been inspired by real people, but over time, their stories were transformed into legends, often to serve a particular purpose or to convey a moral message. This blurring of lines between myth and reality is a testament to the power of storytelling and the human desire to create meaningful narratives that inspire and captivate us. In conclusion, the stories of legendary heroes are a reminder that the line between myth and reality is often blurred, and that the truth behind these stories is often far more complex and nuanced than we might initially think. So, what's your take on legendary heroes? Do you think they were based on real people, or are they simply the product of vivid imaginations and storybook fantasies? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to check out another video on related myths and legends.